You can go to St. Louis for the day, but the last thing you expect to see is a horse in the street. So, if I were to go on record and make the statement that this vlog is brought to you almost entirely due to a conversation about hash browns, well, that wouldn't be entirely inaccurate. The other morning, Shell and I were getting breakfast. We went to Burger King, and Burger King has those tiny little, like, tater tot hash browns. So I was going into my Hashbrown Hierarchy, if you will, which consists of restaurant-style hash browns, patty hash browns like you get at McDonald's and Taco Bell, and then at the very bottom are the dinky little hash browns that they have at Burger King. And of course, I started talking about hash browns, so I went into how much I absolutely adore the hash browns at Waffle House, which eludes me because I live nowhere near one. In fact, the closest Waffle House to my hometown is a 4-hour drive. Well, needless to say, that 4-hour drive has led us here. Now, this trip is not planned entirely around the fact that I just wanted hash browns. That's not what it is. We're in this little city called Collinsville, which is about 20 minutes outside of St. Louis, which by itself is a really cool place to visit. In fact, I haven't been to St. Louis to visit since I was a child. I've just gone through it on trips I've made. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to just make the drive and make a day out of it since we both had the day off. Of course, we are going to get Waffle House for breakfast, which I'm very excited about, but we decided we're just going to explore St. Louis for the day. Also, we're in this weird room that is essentially a boardroom slash meeting area, but we got this room. It was the only room they had available. And fun fact, I've actually stayed in this room before. 12 years ago, I was 9 years old, and this is the room where I saw the very first episode of Hannah Montana premiere. I was on vacation with my mom, and I was very intrigued by the amount of spinny chairs I could play with. So that's just kind of cool. Hey, are you as excited as I am right now?
Yes?
No, that's factually inaccurate.
Okay.
I don't think anybody could be as excited as I am right now. So beautiful.
It was?
I'm in Collinsville right now.
What the hell are you doing down there, boy?
We decided to make a day trip to St. Louis. Guess what I just had for breakfast?
Fucking Waffle House, prick.
How'd you know?
If you don't bring me some fucking hash browns back, I'm kicking you right in your ass when you get home.
Alright, I'm preparing.
Alright, love you, dude.
Love you too, Dad.
Alright, have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
He knew immediately. God. So, when coming to St. Louis, obviously the number one thing there is to do is going to the Arch, which we are going to do today, but that's very last because that's the main attraction when you go to St. Louis. However, when we made this idea for the plan to come here, we were like, okay, what else is there to do? And I think we found the perfect opportunity of how to spend our day. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty wild about this idea. St. Louis. Why didn't they call it St. Zouis?
Oh my god.
Actually, yeah, I think that's a big missed opportunity there.
You're not wrong.
And if you look before you, you will see the wild bush dog in his unnatural habitat just roaming around having a nice Tuesday afternoon. Fun fact, he's related to the wild up dog.
What's up, dog?
Ha! Got him. You know, I don't think this is much one for a bear exhibit if I don't see any actual bears. Ain't that right? Oh god. How am I supposed to bear with you through this? Look at how beautiful and majestic these rhinos are. But if you're looking for the more impressive animal, propane. Can you believe how many fish are in this hippo exhibit? Can you believe it?
No.
Crew canoe. Get it? Canoe. Oh my god. I'm so freaking excited. Look at that. Look at that. Genuine bear action. I'm so freaking excited. I can barely contain myself.
Oh man, come on, here.
I don't see the resemblance. And if you look over here, there's a bunch of sleepy lions.
And look over there, there's pumas.
Oh shit. Hey, Puma. What up, bro? 6 shoes. Damn, girl. Has anyone ever told you that that is a nice ass? Alright, that's my last zoo joke. So for the most part, aside from me talking about hash browns, this entire trip today has been her idea. So when we decided to come, I kind of sort of self-employed myself to be sort of the director of the itinerary for the trip. And by that I mean, I literally went to Google and typed things to do in St. Louis. The zoo was one of the things that popped up. Super glad we did that. She got a collectible penny. And then otherwise there's the arch and a couple of really old buildings that we really don't have time to see today that we'll probably have to come back to see on another day. But before we stopped at the arch, I found this place on TripAdvisor that promised to have one of the best pictures of the arch, and so far I'm not let down whatsoever. I mean, really, look at this freaking view. It is gorgeous. The architecture of that building is nice. The way that it perfectly centers the arch. That statue of what appears to be a runner with a tail. Not really sure what's going on there. But I am absolutely in awe at how gorgeous this truly is. I mean, really, tell me this dude with the George Washington haircut does not have a tail coming out of his hat. I can't get over that. Okay, so we have made it to the arch, and whether it's against my best judgment or not, we have paid the $26 it's going to take for us to get to the top. Needless to say, I am as nervous as I am about riding most large roller coasters. Fingers crossed. So I faced my fear. I made it to the top of the arch thanks to her. And now we are in possibly the worst way to travel I've ever experienced in my entire life. We are in a tiny pod and it is shaking profusely. I hate everything. Back to you, Todd. So we are finally out. We stopped at the gift store. I got some root beer and some collectible coins. She got pictures. That's where we were a second ago. That's crazy. All right, so overall I think today's been a pretty successful day. What do you think?
I think so.
I've had a lot of fun. We've walked a lot. We're currently taking a breather, letting my anxiety calm down for a second because she pushed it to its absolute limits. But while we're here in St. Louis, at the arch specifically, I have one more place I want to go that brings back a nostalgic memory for me that I can only revisit while I'm here. And luckily for me, it is literally just a hop and a skip that direction. So let's go check it out. As you can see right there over my shoulder is the arch. So when I say a hop and a skip, I literally mean a hop and a skip. Now here we are sitting on the edge of the Mississippi River. Can you please elaborate and tell me what you see in front of us here?
A lovely riverboat.
It is a lovely riverboat, but do you know what used to be here? A better, lovely riverboat.
What riverboat would that be?
Now, you may or may not know whether you live in St. Louis or not, but this used to be the location of a floating riverboat McDonald's restaurant somewhere between sometime in the 80s and the year 2000. You may remember at the beginning of this video I said that I came to St. Louis as a child with my parents on a trip, and this was one of the coolest things we did while we were here, was stopping at this riverboat. However, I have a story that's interconnected with the McDonald's riverboat that I will remember forever, because you see that pavement down there that's made of old bricks? That will forever have a part of me. Let me explain. You may notice that the way down there is somewhat steep. Well, as I was a child, my mother was holding my hand and we were walking down going to what was then the McDonald's riverboat. Now, you may or may not have noticed, but the decline is partially made of very, very old bricks. God knows how long they've been there, but because of their age, they're kind of breaking apart and unsturdy. As me and my mom were walking down, because of the bricks, she twisted her ankle and fell, and because she was holding my hand, I ended up going down with her. Of course, I was a child at the time, so I was screaming and crying, and I actually have a permanent scar somewhere about here on my face that you can really only see when the lighting's right, and I have a clean shave. But, you know, it's okay. Everything was fine. My tears went away as soon as we got onto the boat, and my parents ordered me chicken nuggets, because I was a child, and my mind was just that simple. And I guess when you think about it, the moral of the story, chicken nuggets fix everything. Or at least fast food. At least when you're 6. Okay, so, is there anything else you want to do in town before we leave?
No, I think I'm good.
Alright, one more thing I gotta do. See you later, Mississippi River. Take care. I will see you again in maybe another 20 or so years. Ugh. And that's for hurting my mom the last time. Dick. Come on, let's go.